Welcome to TrackUltimate. This video would help you to get started using TrackUltimate quickly. When you reach at end of video, you should have completed all configuration and ready to use TrackUltimate. Let's start with registration. To sign up for free trial, you first need to open www.trackultimate.com. Click on free trial. Enter required information. Agree with terms of use and privacy policy. Click on Create Account button. The login information will be sent to the email address you provided. First time login. Now click on Login. Enter your credentials. Click on Login button. After login, you would be brought to Project Management page. You would notice, by default, test project is already created, which we would configure later. Step 1. Create users. If you go to User Management page, you would notice, by default, user supplied during registration process is already created. If you need to create new user, then click on Add New User button. Supply required details. Choose time zone. Assign project and assign role. Click Save button to create new user. Step 2. Create roles. In Role Management page, you would notice, by default, 3 roles: Admin, User, and Guest already created. You can review it by editing. Initially this would be good enough, but if you want, you can create new role by clicking on Add New Role. Step 3. Create fields. If you go to Field Management page, you would notice, by default 6 fields have already been created. If you create new issue, you would notice there are only 3 fields in the form. Suppose you need attachment field, then you need to go to Field Management and click on New Field button. Give name of field. There are various field types. Here we select File Type field. Assign project. Click on Save. Now if you create new issue, you would see attachment field. Similarly, you can create different types of field as per your requirement. You would notice there is status field. If you edit, you would see, by default, it has 3 values: opened, resolved, and closed. You can edit values, or, if you want to create new status, for example, in progress, then you can create by clicking Add New Status button. Step 4. Configure workflow. If you go to Project Workflow page, you would notice there is already by default workflow created based on 3 status default values, that is, opened, resolved, and closed. You can see opened status can transition to resolved. Resolved status can transition to opened and closed. Closed status can transition to opened. You can set 4 field states options: optional, required, hidden, and read-only. Step 5. Configure your first project. You can configure project by clicking Edit button. You can change project name, group, included status, default status. You can assign user to project. In this customization option, if you need to track something else other than default item, that is issue, you can do so by providing singular and plural of that item. For example, task. Similarly, you can also change by default query value by providing singular and plural of new item. For example, filter. You can also replace by default assign to label with, for example, owned by. Once saved, you can see all changes we have done as being reflected. Step 6. User preferences. You can change your preferences by clicking Settings. You can change time zone, date format, time format. You can change password as well. If you want to change TrackUltimate name and logo with your company name and logo, you can do so by going to System Options and clicking Co-branding link. Here you can replace name and logo. Admin Guide and User Guide videos. Users can now start using TrackUltimate. We have created 2 separate detailed user guide videos, one for admin and another for user, which give step-by-step instructions. You can view it here at www.trackultimate.com/videos.html. Thanks for watching.